Yo, what's up, people? What's up? Oh man, yeah. I don't. Jesus. That's all I can say is Jesus. We back with another one, right? We back doing another live. Oh, I don't even know how to start this. I was I was gonna talk about this lady that was a McDonald's worker that ended up stabbing her manager 15 times, and they tried to say she got mental illness, and she might not be competent enough to go to trial and all this other stuff. I was going to talk about that, right? I might save that one for another live. But as I was scrolling through, shouts out to Law and Crime, bruh. Law and Crime always has some stuff that trips me out. Law and Crime always has some stuff that trip me out, and they it's very interesting. It's very interesting the stuff that they be having on there. I might make a whole section out just for Law and Crime itself. It might be my new thing for real. Might be one of my new things, is reacting to Law and Crime, because they got so much stuff, bruh. It's wild work with what you see, and you see this young lady on the screen, right? This young lady, before we get into it, this young lady on the screen, she's into that what what they call um BDSM. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. All right, that kitchen the kitchen light was on. It was just in my eyes, bruh. But she's into that BDSM, and if y'all don't know what that is, basic basically that's that's if you're familiar with 50 Shades of Grey and those series, the Grey series, that's what that's what BDSM is. Where you be tying people up, and like you perform these weird kinky fetishes and dominate tricks and all that crazy stuff that they be doing, getting whipped and beat with paddles, and yeah. So this young lady is into that, right? And she ends up catching a body by doing this stuff. So we're gonna listen to this Law and Crime, and we're gonna go over it. And I found it so interesting because I just recently seen uh, um I just shouts out to Munchie B, because Munchie B had this dude on there, and he was promoting his BDSM book. He was performing his BDSM book, and he was breaking it down very detailed on what it is and what they actually do and stuff like that. So I found it interesting. I watched the whole live from Munchie B. That joint was dope. It ain't something nothing to do though. Like I'm a square. When it come to that, I'm a square. I'll be lame. I'm not finna be handcuffing nobody and putting plastic bags on people's heads, and I don't need no safe word. You just I'm good with all that. I'm good with all that. And it just make it so like certain shows and stuff and movies, they make it seem so casual, like it's just a part of life. And I guess it's a part of some people life, but it's it's wild. It's wild work. I know that. Like I remember seeing um I don't know if you remember that lady that played in Reno 911, the little black lady that had the big titties in there. Like I don't know if y'all familiar with that, but she had a show. She had a show where she was doing that BDSM with the dude, and she would choke him. She would choke him until he came, and then like it was one time she did that, yo, passed out for real, but basically like kind of like died, like or basically like died, and this is on a TV show. So like it's they did this they making everything, just trying to make everything casual in life, like it's a normal part of life. That stuff not normal, bruh. That stuff not normal, bruh. Like the stuff that they tying people up and doing these weird acts to each other, yo, that's savagery. That's not normal, bruh. That is not normal at all. Uh man. Yeah, I just like I said, shouts out to Munchie B because I had to go find that video. I had to go search and find that video, and I found that video from Munchie B talking to that dude, and we're gonna watch some of this. Then we're gonna jump to Munchie B's joint, so that we can get a better understanding, and then we'll probably finish it off. That's the game plan anyway. But but yeah, that's the game plan. So we'll let's go ahead and get started. Hey, Cinnamon. My dog acting crazy. Cinnamon, sit down. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. All right, hold on. She being hard headed, so she ready to go in her room. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. She want she want to be growling and she ready to start that barking stuff. Nah, 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 nah. Go in your room. Go in your room and chill. All right, but let's go ahead and get started on this. This is wild. This some wild stuff right here, bro. And oh my gosh, bro. Oh Jesus. Re- Reason why I keep saying Jesus, bro, is one, we really we really need Jesus in this time, and two, when you start hearing when you start hearing the stuff that this guy is requesting, bruh, I see why. I see why I see why he died, because the stuff that he's ask, asking this young lady to do is straight wild work, bruh. It's straight wild work. Mind you, okay, so just a just a little heads up. This incident happened this incident happened I think in 23. So 2 years ago. She just now being charged with this guy's death, cuz they ruled it as a homicide, and they'll break down why they ruled it as a homicide. But I found interesting that the person said, one of the people that was on like the newscast or whatever, said that it might it might be a hung juror, like it might be a mistrial, because she didn't have ill intent to go kill this man. They was doing that BDSM stuff, and she was completing her role in the situation. So things went left. So let's go ahead and get to it.
Specific
Shouts out to Law and Crime too.
request for an OnlyFans model.
Asking her to buy boots and glue them on his feet with Gorilla Glue. He was asking her to buy dildos and glue them in his mouth. And he also asked her to pour pools of Gorilla Glue into his eyes to glue them shut, so that she was the last girl that he would ever see.
Then he died after the fatal fetish encounter.
Essentially, there was a lack of oxygen to the brain because of the plastic wrapping around the head, leading to fatal injury.
Now the OnlyFans model is charged with his murder. Was it a horrible accident or a cold, calculated killing?
I could just hear him say, can we stop? I'll pay you a certain amount more money to stop. And that's when I realized that it wasn't a friend, it was a prostitute.
Thanks for joining us on Law and Crime. I'm Elizabeth Milner. We brought you this story just a few months back. A mom of three who doubles as a spicy content creator or OnlyFans model is...
And mind you, oh my gosh, oh Jesus. And mind you, this another reason why I went to find that Munchie B BDSM thing, because she's married. She's married, and you heard she's a mom of three, and she's married. So we why is she doing this with other men? One, why is she doing this with other men? Now, Jesus. Now, what if your kids grow up and see this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens when her kids grow up and see, even if she gets off, you know what I'm saying, for, this is what he wanted, and this is the lifestyle and all that stuff. What if she gets off? What happens when her kids see this? What happens when her kids want to go down that same route? Because apple don't fall far from the tree. Man, this is just it's crazy. That's why I was just like Jesus. You I gotta talk about it.
Was accused of placing a plastic bag over her client's head in what was supposed to be a kinky fetish encounter. But police say even when he wasn't moving, the model kept on recording.
Can you describe for us what we see here?
Same thing. Michaela's sitting there topless, masturbating with a vibrator, lip syncing to the music. It pans down to Mr. Dale laying at her feet, motionless, still wrapped up the same exact way. Looked like she might have been resting her foot on him.
You mentioned in the previous clip how there was one moment where Mr. Dale's body kind of moves or shifts. Any movement with Mr. Dale in this clip?
No.
In April of 2023, more than 2 years ago, 56-year-old Michael Dale was rushed to the hospital. He was found in a really unusual and kind of scary state. Investigators say he had duct tape over his mouth, a plastic bag over his head. His head was also wrapped in saran wrap and covered in duct tape. An unusual scene, right? So it might have come as a surprise to investigators that he reportedly made the request and paid a 29-year-old OnlyFans model $11,000 to do that to him. Initially, it was reported that Michael Dale spotted Michaela Rylarsdam on a website for hiring spicy dancers and escorts. And it was reportedly Michaela's first time ever engaging in this type of fetish behavior with a client. So police say Michael and Michaela met up on April 17th, but even before that, they were texting one another for weeks. And nothing wrong with engaging in what you want to engage in with two consenting adults, right? But then a 911 call came in on the evening of April 17th. When officers responded to Michael's home, they say he was lying on his back and Michaela was giving him CPR.
He didn't have a shirt on. His arms were above his head, bound like this. It appeared to be like some sort of tape and rope around his wrists. He was wearing red pants and had both of his legs bound together by a clear plastic wrap. And he was also wearing some black boots.
Could you walk us through sort of your mindset as you're rendering CPR on the male laying down?
Obviously, I'm trying to give effective CPR, but my thought process is wanting to get that person out of the room. She seemed kind of frantic.
You're talking about the defendant?
Yes, sir.
And why is it important in your mind to get her out of the room?
For me, it's more of just an officer safety standpoint. I'm not sure what the true nature of what I'm walking into is, so I prefer for me to just be there alone.
So, towards the end of the video, we see other personnel arrive. Were those paramedics?
Yes, sir.
Did they take over with the rendering of CPR?
They did.
After that, did you stick around on scene?
Yes, sir.
And were you tasked with doing anything else on scene?
Yes. Ultimately, what I did was remain in the room and assist with evidence collection.
Can you tell us about what sort of evidence you collected there from the bedroom?
Sure. We had like some, I believe there were like bundles of what appeared to be used tape, yellow rope. There was about 7 boxes of clear plastic wrap, rolls of clear plastic wrap. I collected 3 bottles of Gorilla Glue. I believe we also impounded the black boots and a clear, medium-sized bag with red lipstick on it.
You mentioned black boots.
Yes, sir.
What black boots?
My partner who assisted at the hospital collected the black boots that were on Mr. Dale's feet.
Can you describe the boots that were on Mr. Dale's feet?
Yeah, they were like these thick leather, kind of shiny black boots.
Do you remember seeing those boots on him when you walked into the room that night?
Yes, sir.
Gorilla Glue, plastic wrap, duct tape really does sound like a horror scene. But
Yo, bruh, I'm telling you, bruh, it sounds like a horror scene. This is a horror scene. This like one of them scenes from what's that crazy show? American Horror Story. Bruh, like, are you serious, bruh? That's why I named the title. That's why I named the title what it was. Like, just sex not good enough, bruh. Like, you gotta go up and beyond to get your rocks off, bruh. Like, this is wild work, bruh. And oh jeez. What goes through your mind that makes you say, I want I wanna I want you to gorilla glue boots to my foot. I want you to wrap plastic wrap around my head so I can't breathe. I want I want you to oh jeez, bro. Jesus. I want you to glue my eyes shut. Like gorilla glue at that, bro. Like look at that. Oh man, it's not funny. It's sad, bro. Sometimes you gotta laugh through it. But bro ain't say like Elmer's glue. You know, something that you could just run some water on to get that joint off. Bro said gorilla glue, bro. Yo trying to go blind. Yo trying to be blind for the rest of his life, bro. You can't get like we seen with the gorilla glue girl, yeah, I mean, where she put that stuff in her head, bruh. It was no coming out. So it says that on the daggone bottle, like, don't put this on your skin. Don't put this, like, it tells you not to use that stuff like that. He's talking about permanently gluing leather daggone boots to his feet. Jesus, jeez, this is wild work, bruh. And the person who agrees to this, you're just as sick. The person who agrees to it is just as sick, bruh. Like y'all some sick individuals, bruh. Like my first time ever seeing my first time ever seeing some stuff like that was on Pulp Fiction. I remember it was a scene and it traumatized me. It traumatized me. It was Pulp Fiction where I think his name was Van Rains. Yeah, something like that. Van Rains. He had got caught in them hillbillies cabin, and they ended up strapping him. They ended up strapping him down in one of those daggone old slave old slave things where your hands and your head is in the holes and it goes across your back like that, and then you're like in the bent over position, and when they got him in there, I mean they called this dude out the closet or something. I don't know where yo came from. He's in like a closet or a cage or some crazy thing. He was strapped. He was strapped all black leather. And he had the little mouth zip. You know what I mean? He was strapped in leather from head to toe, and he was going to town on Van Rains. That joint traumatized me, bro. I was like, what the heck kind of sick stuff is this? That's my like my first time seeing. I didn't know that these people really was out here like that, bro. Like they got special names and special signs and like the dude that Munchie B was interviewing, he said they like they have like uh letters like QOS is Queen of Spades. I remember that one. It's Queen of Spades. Or they might have a card with Queen of Spades on there. You know what I'm saying? So we're dealing with this ain't no super secretive thing. This is really like out in the open now. Like I think it was a selected few people who probably was into this. Now it seems like this is the new thing, and it progressed when like 50 Shades of Grey came out, like some of the certain TV shows that show people doing these wild acts and stuff. So it's just throwed off that you know people actually engage in this. And like I said, you gotta be a sick individual to actually agree to do something like that, bruh. Yeah, I'm a wrap your head I'm a wrap your head up in plastic, and while you over there struggling to breathe and taking your last breaths, I'm over here doing what I'm doing. And oh man, this is crazy.
According to Michaela's attorneys, they argue she tried to help the victim.
She was wearing lingerie, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you didn't see any weapon on her,
I
correct?
did not, sir.
It was more just kind of to control the situation. It's easier if she's not there. You don't have to deal with her. You don't have to have your attention divided, correct?
That's correct, sir.
And so you asked her to step outside.
I did.
She stepped outside.
She ultimately, yes, sir.
And she stayed outside until other units arrived, correct?
That is correct, sir.
She didn't flee.
No, sir.
She didn't try and leave, correct?
No, sir.
And it's your understanding that she did speak with other officers about what happened, correct?
Yes, sir.
So like I mentioned, this encounter happened back in April of 2023. However, Michaela wasn't arrested and charged until this year in 2025. The charge came after the medical examiner ruled Michael's death as a homicide.
Is it fair to say that if Mr. Dale had not consumed any alcohol from the time that he went in, that he became unresponsive to the time that he went to the hospital, that his alcohol level may have been higher at the time that the incident happened?
Sure,
It might have been higher than a .33.
absolutely.
And typically for most people, .40 is considered to be a near fatal or fatal level of alcohol, correct?
Yes, that's a correct guideline.
Now, alcohol is a depressant, correct?
Yes,
And that's what suppresses the fact that you're breathing, correct? Is the depressant action.
yes,
He also had trazodone in his system, correct?
yes,
He had, was it .13 nanograms of trazodone?
I think it was.
Not only was he drinking, he was taking drugs on top of it. Boy, everything screams recipe for disaster, bro. Everything screams recipe for disaster. Wait, bruh, Jesus. Wait till you hear the text messages, bruh. The text messages is wild. But this is why like this is one of the reasons why um they said it might be a mistrial, because like some of this stuff was self-inflicted. Some of this stuff was self-inflicted. He wanted certain things to happen to him. He asked for certain things to happen to him. Then like you said with the alcohol, being in play with the mixed with the whatever pill he was taking or whatever, you know, could be a cause of why he died, and why he passed away. For the stuff that he's asking for and asking to be done to him, I don't feel like this was no first time thing. This is something that sounds like he been requested more than once. For real, for real. It sounds like the stuff that he was requesting. I don't know about the glue situation with the pour the glue on my eyes and all that stuff. I don't know about that situation right there. That seems a little thrown off to me. But the plastic wrap around the head and all the other crazy stuff, that seems like he probably did that before.
0.17 milligrams per liter.
0.17 milligrams per liter. Now, that's a therapeutic level, correct?
I think it's actually sub-therapeutic, but yeah, within that range. For sure.
But it's a depressant as well.
What's good, Smitty? Smitty in the building, bruh. Shouts out to Smitty. Yeah, Smitty. I'm over here talking about this lady. This lady, oh Jesus. So the young lady right here, she's getting charged for murder. They was performing what they call this underworld sex scene is calling BDSM. BDSM, if you're not familiar with it, is what 50 Shades of Grey was all about. Um, the strapping people up, the hitting them with whips and uh plugging their mouth with a little red ball and dominatrix and stuff like that. So this young lady will be considered a dominatrix because her job was to torture and humiliate the man that she was seeing on the side. Mind you, this young lady is married with kids. She has an OnlyFans and she does BDSM. And this guy that she killed, can't even say she killed him. But the guy that she was seeing that died, um, he wanted these very strange and awkward things to happen to him. Some of the things that he requested is like, what the heck are you on? So one of his requests, because I ain't gonna give away the other stuff, we gonna actually hear it. One of the one of his requests was he wanted her to gorilla glue some leather black boots to his feet. Um, the other thing he asked was that she gorilla glue his eyes shut because he wanted to just remember seeing her face. Uh, Another thing was he wanted her to like put a bag over his head or something like that. It's Man, this is crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro. Straight wild, bro. And I asked the question like, "Oh, what's up, B? B is in the building. Salute, B is in the building." I asked a question like, when is normal sex not good enough? Like just having normal sex, that's not good enough. You have to go up and beyond. Like, Jesus, this it's wild.
So the two together could cause a person's respiratory.
And where we're at right now, they're breaking down what happened in the courtroom. Shouts out to Law and Crime. Um, they're breaking down what's going on in the courtroom, and you're hearing the police testimony. You're gonna start hearing the roommate's testimony and stuff like that. And this is her lawyer. Her lawyer is referring to the fact that he passed away. He could have passed away because he had alcohol and drugs in his system, not because of the BDSM that was going on.
To be respiratory to be suppressed, correct?
It could have a synergistic effect, yes.
Now, I just got to say here that you can really see the arguments for both sides. The prosecution claims that this was a murder. However, the defense argues this was a terrible accident. Even though this isn't a trial, a jury will eventually have a lot to consider, like the text messages between Michaela and the victim.
What was the nature of the messages back and forth?
The nature of it was Mr. Dale asking Ms. Rylersdam to do certain things for him. He was asking her to.
Now look, this is him texting her the stuff that he wants her to do to him.
Do certain things for him. He was asking her to buy boots and glue them on his feet with Gorilla Glue. He was asking her to buy dildos and glue them in his mouth. And he also asked her to pour pools of Gorilla Glue into his eyes to glue them shut, so that she was the last girl that he would ever see.
And based on these text messages, were you able to tell whether Mr. Dale was offering money in exchange for these acts?
Yes, I believe he was going to offer some money. I don't remember how much at this time.
We see on the top left-hand corner Michael Dale, and then next to that it says the Queen. Based on your investigation, who is the Queen?
Michaela Rylersdam.
Okay.
So when we go over to Munchie B's side and we start listening to the guy break down exactly what BDSM is, remember I was saying, like, these people have these codes and stuff, and that was one of the codes, was that if you see a woman with QOS, which is Queen of Spades, that means she only likes black dudes. Like, she will only have sex with black dudes. It's weird, you know what I'm saying? So she was referred to as Queen because that's their lingo, you know what I'm saying? That's their code words and stuff like that.
And then to the right of the Queen, we see a timestamp. Is that fair?
Correct.
And then to the right of that, does it tell us whether it's an incoming or outgoing text?
Yes.
All right. So this first text, is this an incoming text?
Yes.
Can you go ahead and read the body of the text for us?
The body says, "So what color boots are you going to get? Black, red, pink for me. How about the bright pink?"
And is this a text from Michael Dale to the defendant, Ms. Rylersdam?
Yes.
All right. There's mention of boots. How do the boots fit in to this? Good to go back here?
No, yeah.
Okay.
Unless, I mean, if you need to point things out, great. Otherwise, I don't think you need to be up here.
Thank you. So there's a mention of boots in this very first text. Can you tell us, based on your investigation of the case, what's the significance, if any, of the boots?
So Mr. Dale was asking Ms. Rylersdam to buy a pair of boots and glue them onto his feet. And when Mr. Dale was found, he did have a pair of boots glued onto his feet. They had to be removed in the emergency room.
Were those the same boots that Officer Edwards was describing?
Those are the same boots that he saw on him. And I believe there was a second pair that were in the room on the floor.
So one pair glued onto Mr. Dale's feet, second pair of unused boots on the floor. Is that fair?
I believe so.
Okay. So the very next text message in the middle, what are we looking at here?
It's a photo of some dildos.
And again, is this an outgoing text from Michael Dale to the defendant, Ms. Rylarsdam?
This is an incoming text from Michael Dale. This is from Ms. Rylarsdam's phone. So it's an incoming text from Michael Dale to Ms. Rylarsdam.
Thank you. And you said it's a picture of dildos?
Yeah, it's a advertisement on Etsy for to buy dildos for $36.
Can you read the next text message for us at the very bottom of page 1?
It's also incoming from Mr. Dale, and it says, "I was thinking of something like this, say 6 inches long, that you could put down my throat before you glue my mouth shut."
Before we flip to page 2, can you tell us what
hey, hey, yo, I was. Oh man, I apologize for laughing, Lord. Forgive me, Lord, for laughing. It's not funny. It's it's not funny. It's not, but it is. It's not funny, but it is. This the world we live in. This the world we live in, bro. Yo, oh jeez, bro. When normal sex is just not good enough, bro. When normal sex is just not good enough. Bro said, yo, here go a 6 incher. I I was watching. No, Diddy. I can't even say that. I can't say. I can't say that, bruh. Those yo, nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. They ain't no way. Ain't no way y'all get off on this. What is wrong with y'all, bruh? This demon time right here. This demon time. I don't want to hear nobody talk about demon time if y'all ain't doing this right here. This straight demon time right here, bruh. This right here is demon time, bruh. Oh, Jesus. What is wrong with people, bruh? What's wrong with people, bruh? Like, I don't know what this BDSM stuff is, but whoever watch these things, bruh, just know, if you playing in that game, bruh, this might be you one day. Is it an addiction or something? Like, what's the factuation in this? Because everything I hear from this is is basically what is demeaning, is stuff that's demeaning you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this goes back with what we was talking about last night with those dudes that was on that booty bandit stuff, bruh. Like, this goes back to that from last night's live when I was explaining the words wantingness and lascivious. When I was explaining those two words, uh lascivious and wantingness. wantonness means reckless or cruel disregard for safety or rights of others, or excessive, unrestrained, lewd, or lascivious behavior. Okay, and then I broke down what lascivious means. I broke down what lascivious means. Let's go to lascivious. Lascivious of a person, manner, or gesture, feeling or revealing an overt and often offensive sexual desire. And if you go to the and if you go to the Bible version, um refers to a unbridled lust, shameless sensationality, sensuality, wants uh wanted behavior that lacks restraint. It is considered to it is considered a work of the flesh that stems from a hardened heart and disregard God for God's will. The term can manifest in various ways, including sexual immorality, debauchery, and a general lifestyle of impurity, and is often listed alongside other sins like drunkenness and adultery. Idolatry, my fault. So we did this is I said this is demon time. Y'all really want to be on demon time? Y'all gotta start doing stuff like this to prove that y'all on demon. Now, if y'all ain't doing stuff like this, stop it. Y'all not on demon time, bro. This is sick. This is a sick fetish right here. If this the type of thing that gets you off, bro, you need help. You need to go see a therapist. You need to get talked to. We gotta question, how did you get like this? What happened to you in your past? Like, we need answers, because this ain't it, bruh. Like, man, this ain't it, bruh. Just give me some normal box. Let me go to sleep after I done got mines off. Let me go to sleep. Yeah, I mean, recharge for the next day. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. You don't need to hit me with nothing. You don't need to burn me with nothing. You don't need to plastic wrap my head. Daggone sure don't need to stuff nothing in my mouth. I ain't with none of that. Like, this is wild work right here. Yeah, I run that back.
Can you read the next text message for us at the very bottom of page 1?
It's also incoming from Mr. Dale, and it says, I was thinking of something like this, say 6 inches long, that you could put down my throat before you glue my mouth shut.
Before we flip to page 2, can you tell us what is the timestamp or time frame of these text messages?
The picture came in at 7:05 p.m. on 3/26/23, and the text message came in at 7:06 p.m. So one right after the other.
So fair to say a couple weeks before the incident?
Correct.
Let's flip to page 2 on P+3. For the record, timestamp of these first couple messages are March 27th of 2023. Is that accurate, sir?
Yes.
All right. Walk us through the first 3 texts that we see on the second page. Can you go ahead and read those and describe who's sending them and who's receiving them?
Sure. These all 3 are incoming from Michael Dale to Michaela Reilersdam. The first is on 3/27/23. It's at 9:32 a.m. The body of the text reads, "Yes, I have been seriously thinking about you gluing my eyes shut at the end."
Okay. How about the next text?
The next text is the same day at 11:57 a.m., which says, "Can we glue my eyes shut, please? So sexy, you being the last beautiful angel I ever see."
And how about the next text?
The next text is at 12 p.m., so 3 minutes later, and it states, "So can we please glue my eyes shut at the end, seriously?"
That's also from Mr. Dale to the defendant?
Correct.
All right. So we see 5 total texts on this page. We've gone through 3 of them. Can you go ahead and read for us the next or 4th text message?
The next text message is an outgoing message from Michaela to Michael Dale at 12:01 p.m., which says yes.
All right. And how about the 5th and final text?
That's from Michael Dale to Michaela Reilersdam at 12:03 p.m., which says, "I seriously want a pool of glue over each eye, okay?"
If you could turn to the 3rd page of this exhibit, P+3. There are 4 text messages on this 3rd page.
I'm gonna have to go listen to church after this, bro. Oh, gang, bro. I'm gonna have to go listen to church after this, bro. This is sick. This is sick. Boy said, I want a pool like of glue. That he ain't say just sprinkle some across the eyelid just to keep the eyelid closed. He said he want a glob of that joint. He want that joint to sit on there like this. Like, yo, ain't no way, bruh. Ain't no way, bruh. Ain't no way, bruh. This can't be real, bruh. Y'all can't really like doing stuff like this, bruh. That's sick, bruh. That's sick, bruh. It's sick, and you got mental issues. See, this is what we call mental issues right here. This is a mental disorder right here. This you need therapy. You need therapy. Talking about gluing something in your mouth, keeping it close to keep it closed. Talking about gluing boots to your feet, gluing your eyes shut. Like this is mental disorder right here, bruh.
For the record, the first text, is this incoming from Michael Dale to the defendant?
Yes.
And what's the timestamp on this one?
12:05 p.m. on 3/27, the same day.
And go ahead and read that for us.
"I want to make sure that I can never, in capitals, I can never ever see another girl, okay?"
How about the second text message?
The second one is from Michaela Reilersdam to Michael Dale, outgoing at 12:09 p.m., and it says never.
And the third?
The third is from Michael Dale to Michaela Reilersdam. It's at 12:11 p.m., and the text reads, "So does that mean you will truly and honestly put a pool of Gorilla Glue in each eye to make it truly permanent for me, my sexy angel?"
And the fourth text, was this the defendant's response to that?
Yes, it's an outgoing text message from Michaela Reilersdam to Michael Dale at 12:13 p.m. And it says, I will do whatever we put into writing to be signed, Dollface.
So those messages were reportedly sent weeks before Michael's encounter.
Essentially, there was a lack of oxygen.
As well as tied around his neck. And then there was some pink dot.
Hold up, hold up.
In the videos, could you tell what layers or what objects?
Hold on. Right here. All right. Jump the gun a little bit. All right. So,
To Michael Dale at 12:13.
so he said I'll put everything that we want to do in writing. So that she have if he die, he got an alibi. This is what he wanted her to do. This Jesus. Oh we. Man. Demon time. True demon time.
So those messages were reportedly sent weeks before Michael's death. Then the night came for them to act out these fantasies. The defense has argued Michaela tried to save Michael's life, but investigators presented video evidence that could upend the defense's argument.
Well, there were several videos. The videos appeared to have been taken by Michaela in selfie mode. There were videos of her dancing to some music, topless. In the background for the first couple, you could see Michael Dale. He was, at that point, his hands or his wrists had been bound and he had black duct tape over his hands, completely covering his hands. He was wrapped in saran wrap. His thighs, from his thighs down, were wrapped in saran wrap. I remember it looked like a piece of saran wrap or plastic that was hanging around his shoulders loosely, almost like a sash. And he had black duct tape around his mouth, wrapped around his head.
In these videos, do we see anything actually covering his head or his face?
Well, the first two videos, he's got just the duct tape around it. And the subsequent videos I saw, he had several layers over his head. So,
And when you say layers, watching the videos, could you tell what layers or what objects?
Shit. Hey yo. Jeez, I don't mean to laugh at it. I don't mean to laugh at it. She wrapped my man up like Jamie Foxx and Booty Call, bruh. Hey yo, oh Jesus, hold up, bruh. Hold up, bruh. She wrapped my man's up like Jamie Foxx and Booty Call, bruh. That's wild work. That's wild work right there. Let's see if I can pull that up for the people who haven't seen Booty Call. Oh man. Oh man. I had my I had my man wrapped up in plastic. Oh man. Dang, bro. Let me see if I see if I can get it pulled up, bro. Um let's see if I can get it pulled up. It's not funny. It's not funny, but I gotta show you, bruh. Cause our booty call was a long time ago. Let's see if they got it on here. Okay. Here you go. Jesus, take the wheel. Mm, mm, mm. Let me see if I can share this real quick. I'm a screenshot this because I don't want them to flag my joint. Say I was using their stuff. Come on, bro. There you go. All right. All right. Let's let's pull. There we go. All right. Say let's pull this image up real quick. Oh man, they say my man was plastic wrap. That's wild work. Didn't mean to keep laughing, but it's funny. They said my man was out there looking like this right here. Said she done plastic wrapped my homie, bruh. Ah, dang, dog. Dang, dog, bruh. Not like this, bruh. Not like this, bruh. Not like that, bruh. Say it ain't so. Say you ain't go out like this, bruh. Come on, bruh.
Those were
It appeared that he had
videos. Do we see anything actually covering his head or his face?
Well, the first two videos, he's got just the duct tape around it. And the subsequent videos I saw, he had several layers over his head. So,
And when you say layers, watching the videos, could you tell what layers or what objects those were?
it appeared that he still had the black duct tape around his mouth. a plastic bag over his head, and then what I believe was that a loose saran wrap was wrapped around his face as well as tied around his neck, and then there was some pink duct tape that was wrapped around his mouth all the way around his head.
The prosecution played the series of videos for the court. However, we don't see them. But the detective described in great detail what he observed, as some of these videos were allegedly taken while the victim was already taking his final breaths.
Yes, so she put her foot up on top of him while he was laying on the floor and then sat on him while she was videoing.
Moving to clip D, was this timestamp of 9:56 p.m.?
Correct.
Now to clarify, up to this point, have we seen any sort of plastic bag or other covering over Mr. Dale's head?
No.
I want you to breathe with a bag over your head. Take your go. Like I'm going to tighten your neck up. What do you think?
Can you describe for us what we see in clip D?
So in this video, Mr. Dale is laying on the floor. His hands are still.
You can actually hear him like breathing hard, bruh. Like, oh Jesus! You talking about, yeah, just gonna put this back over your head, and yeah, we're gonna tighten this back up, and like, bruh, man, y'all playing these dumb games out here. Y'all playing these dumb games. You ought to go to the extreme. That's the you losing your life, and Jesus. All because you couldn't find a way to get off no other type of way by doing this. This don't tell you, bro. This don't even make sense, bro. How people can enjoy this right here. It's people that enjoy stuff like this, bro. Not only the person that's doing it to them, but the person that's receiving it. It's amazing. Jesus.
Bound and covered in black duct tape. Although this time he's got a plastic bag over his head, what looks like that loose plastic wrapped around it as well as around his neck. He has pink duct tape wrapped around his face, wrapped around his head completely, holding it all in place. This is a video that is being filmed by Michaela, pointing downwards at Mr. Dale as he speaks to him. At one point she says, maybe I should tighten your neck up, and it looks like she reaches down and kind of hooks her finger underneath the plastic around his neck and kind of tugs on it. So in this clip, Michaela's filming herself, sitting on the floor, topless, masturbating with a vibrator, and pans back and forth between herself and Mr. Dale, who's laying on the floor at her feet.
And you dying. Whole time you dying, she getting off. That's crazy. This demon time. It's that demon time right here, bruh. While you dying, she getting off.
Still bound in the same way. Everything's all the same, with the wrappings around his face, his hands, and his legs. He lays there motionless for most of the video, and then makes one movement, and kind of his body just shifts. Looks like it kind of takes in a breath and lets out a breath.
Is he laying on his back, on his side, on his front?
It looked like on his side.
Can you describe for us what we see here?
Same thing. Michaela's sitting there topless, masturbating with a vibrator, lip syncing to the music. It pans down to Mr. Dale laying at her feet, motionless, still wrapped up the same exact way. Looked like she might have been resting her foot on him.
You mentioned in the previous clip how there was one moment where Mr. Dale's body kind of moves or shifts. Any movement with Mr. Dale in this clip?
No.
Bruh, she looked like She looked like that. She looked like that lady from Thin Line Between Love and Hate. That's what she give me. She give me that vibe. Like just looking at her, she kind of favors that lady from Thin Line Between Love and Hate. If you haven't seen that, that's Martin Lawrence, and I can't remember the lady name.
According to the detective, Michael was laying on the ground with saran wrap covering his face and head for at least 8 minutes. Even
Ooh, 8 minutes. Look, this the dude right here. This the dude right here. This is her, and this is the dude that she did this to. Man, that's wild work. I didn't wanna. Excuse me. I didn't wanna. I didn't wanna say, bro, this that white people stuff because when you hear oh boy from Munchie B's site from Munchie B interview talk, he says it's black dudes that is into this and stuff, but this extreme that he's going to, nah, that's white people stuff, bruh. Because he ain't say nothing about no black. He said black people. He said all the black people that he met doing this was like the ones doing the controlling. They had women that they was doing like certain things too, like whipping them and walking them on leashes and certain things like that. He said it was black men that was doing that. All this gluing the boots and getting the dildos and all this crazy stuff that he's referring to, that's white people stuff, bro. That's why it's a movie. If you never seen it's not a movie, it's a TV series. If you ever seen I think it's called Warrior. If I'm not mistaken, it's called Warrior. I'm not 100%, but it's it's a TV series on Netflix or Hulu. It's either Netflix or Hulu, and it's called Warrior, and it's about a Chinese dude that came to the U.S. in San Francisco, and this was when San Francisco was they had the two parts. They had the Irish side, and then they had Chinatown side, and they was always at odds. And the mayor of the town, he used to go to the prostitutes um shops. He used to go to the prostitute shops, like the whorehouses. He used to go to the whorehouses, and he had a lady that he always went to, and yo, he used to let the lady before he died in that series. He used to let that lady rail him, bro, like straight railroad him, bro, like ooh. I was I all when I was watching the series, I'm like, yo, he too sassy. Like I always kept saying, like something was wrong with him. Like he was sassy. And it came out later in the series where he would go to the whorehouses, bro, and she used to put that thing in him, bro. Like and that joint about as big as your arm, bro. And I'm like, bro, that's that white people stuff, bro. Like, yeah, I ain't look. Don't crucify me. I ain't trying to indict the whites, but when you think of stuff like this happening and stuff like that, bro, you think of white people. You don't think of no black people in the beginning. The first thing you thinking is white people. I'm sorry.
at one point, Michaela and her husband were allegedly texting one another as he expressed excitement over the photos Michaela sent him. All of this reportedly happening before 911 was called. Now, Michael also has roommates. His roommate testified he'd only been living in the home less than a week before his death.
Can you describe for us how it was that you became aware of the incident?
I came in to get dessert and I heard some commotion. I put my dessert back and then was proceeding back to my room to call my sister because I was like, what's going on? I got a text from one of the roommates saying all this noise.
Hearsay.
Overruled, effect on listener. Next question.
So you mentioned the commotion. Could you tell from where the commotion was coming from?
Yeah, I could tell it was coming from Michael's room because there was only 3 of us home at the time. Helen, Michael, and me. All the other roommates were either at work or gone.
You also mentioned you texted your sister. How does your sister fit into this house?
My sister owns the house. She's basically the landlord.
Okay. And you texted your sister.
I called my sister, sorry.
Apologies.
Yeah,
Called your
sorry.
sister. What was sort of the purpose of the phone call to your sister?
I was calling my sister because Michael had brought home a female and stuff was going on that we don't really allow kind of in the house. We don't have overnight guests. We try to be respectful, but it sounded like, stuff was going on that shouldn't be going on in that. I mean, to each his own, but you got roommates.
Could you be more specific? What was going on? What wasn't allowed in the house?
Well, the overnights, but he brought home, I don't know how you want me to say,
Just use your own words.
prostitute hooker or whatever. And
Is she really a prostitute? Like, well, I don't know. That's a thin line. That's a thin line. I mean, she do get paid for what she does, but you know, she didn't have sex with him. So would that still be considered a prostitute? Because prostitute, you pay for somebody to have sex with. He he paid to die. Like, I ain't over here saying like that, bro. But I'm just saying, like, he ain't hit. He ain't get no pleasure out of this, bro. So I wouldn't necessarily say she was a prostitute. He trying to fulfill his fetish. Like, I don't think she can be deemed a prostitute at this time. I don't know. Y'all let me know if she a prostitute or not.
gotta go get a hotel.
Usually when you think of prostitutes, you think of a streetwalker or like I said, somebody you paid to have a sexual encounter with. He didn't have it wasn't neither one of those things. So I don't know. Y'all let me know.
For that. You move in 5 days and this is what's going on. I had gotten a text from the other roommate, which she said was all the noise was going on, and she was scared. I remember next was Helen coming out to the garage saying that.
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled, effect on listener. You can continue.
Coming out saying that the girl needed help. So I came into the house and walked towards Michael Dale's room with Helen and the girl. And that's when I saw Mr. Dale, and I said, you know, we need to call 911. So one of the girls, I'm not too sure who dialed 911. We got the 911 operator on the phone, and we said that, you know, he wasn't breathing, so he was like, you guys start CPR. The girls looked at me to do it, but in my physical, I wouldn't have been able to do it. We would have had 2 ambulances coming. The girl started CPR. When I saw the situation, you know, the CPR was started, I went.
I was talking about I was talking about this to a couple of the guys at the job, and I was telling them your body is like, so after they quote unquote say you died or whatever, you're still like, your body doesn't all the way shut down. You have a 7 minute span. So yes, clinic from the outside you could look as if you're dead, but you have a 7 minute span where you're conscious, and everything is, and all that stuff is still active. So by the time she performed or started performing CPR, he was probably already gone, like completely gone. They say he had that bag on for quite some time. So there's no telling when he stopped breathing. You know what I'm saying? He could have stopped breathing while she was pleasuring herself. Uh yeah, we don't know the exact time he stopped breathing, but I'm pretty sure he stopped breathing when he had all that plastic wrap and stuff wrapped around his face, and that was more than like 10 minutes. So he probably was already gone. There was no bringing him back at that point in time, even with them performing CPR and all that stuff. There wasn't no bringing him back. He was already gone. You got a 7 minute window.
To the front door and open it up for the ambulance or police officers that were going to be coming.
Okay. You were mentioning the girl. Are you talking about Helen or the female guest?
Oh, female guest, sorry.
That same female guest that you're describing, do you also see here in the courtroom?
Yes, I do.
For the record, can you please describe where she's seated and what color shirt she's wearing?
I think it was red or pink, and it was a.
I'm sorry, today. Where is she today?
Oh, sorry. She's sitting over there. She has a gray sweatshirt on.
The witnesses identified the defendant.
Thank you.
And one of the biggest bombshells of the hearing was that Michael's roommate could allegedly hear him begging for the so-called experience to stop.
I could just hear him say, "Can we stop? I'll pay you a certain amount more money to stop." And that's when I realized that it wasn't a friend, it was a prostitute or whatever you want to.
So if he heard that, can we stop? That sounds like a plea for help. Why wouldn't she go? Why wouldn't she, knock on the door or something? Or why wouldn't she, you know what I'm saying? Uh, get her to stop. Like, hold up, something. You know, maybe y'all should stop what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm just saying, if you heard that, my if I hear if I hear that, my initial thing is to, hey, bruh, y'all need to, maybe y'all need to stop doing what y'all doing. Maybe you need to set him free. What's going to do? What you know? What? Hey, y'all already in there? You know what I'm saying? Like, ah, you could have been more proactive, buddy, in order to save this dude's life. For real, for real. Like, if that's something you heard and you witnessed for yourself, you could have been a little bit more proactive. And when you hear what they were saying, you know, when you hear what they were saying, they're gonna after this goes off, they're gonna start talking about it. The lady had a valid point about like this might be part of that BDSM stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and finish.
Say.
So you hear Mr. Dale say this comment. Are you in the kitchen at that point?
Basically in the kitchen.
And so after that, is that when you go back to the garage?
That's when I went back to the garage and called my sister and was trying to decide what we should do, call the police or, because like I said, Helen had texted me at that kind of same time-ish and was hearing noises and was frightened.
Where is Helen in the house when this is going on?
She was in her room, I do believe. Like I said, I wasn't in the house, so I'm not too sure, but I'm sure she was probably in her room because that would be her safest place.
So you were telling us before about how you leave the garage and you walk toward Mr. Dale's room, is
Yes.
that right? Did you actually go in and see what was going on in the room?
Yes, I went into Michael Dale's room and he was laying on the floor, not breathing, and that's when I was like, we need to call 911. And like I said, I can't remember which girl, Helen or
All right, so the first time you explained that you said somebody came and got you from whatever area you was in. They came and got you. But then you said, yeah, you went in there and noticed him like that. So you gotta be careful with how you're saying these things because that could be an inconsistency in your story. Um, and two, like I said, if you heard that, why would you leave out the house instead of checking on him right then and there? You you heard him pleading for her to stop, and you refused to check on him. You left to go call your sister instead of checking on her while you was already there. It's just something. It's just something that I'm getting from it. I'm pretty sure the lawyer gonna eat that one up. But yeah, you could have saved his life, buddy, if you'd have just knocked on the door and be like, "Hey, y'all gotta stop, bro. You ain't supposed to have people in here. Y'all might want to wrap it up. For the landlord come and it's ways you could have handled that. Um, and you probably could have saved his life. But I find it interesting what the ladies say after this because this BDSM stuff is like role playing and yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Let's go ahead and finish.
what's her name? Michaela? I'm sorry. Michaela, I don't know which one called 911, but once we got them on and they were, given directions for CPR, Michaela started CPR.
You mentioned Mr. Dale was on the ground. Can you tell us, is he laying on his back, on his side?
He was on his back,
And that was just a snippet of the evidence prosecutors brought out in court. I'm joined now by attorney Melba Pearson. And Melba, I remember when we first chatted about this case, when the story first broke, and it seemed like, at least to me, it felt like it was an accident. Now, as we're learning more, it seems like the jury has a lot to consider. But what's your take on the new bombshells that we heard in court, like the roommate's testimony about hearing the victim say he'll pay more money if she stops?
Yeah, so Elizabeth, always great to be on with you. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because again, the victim signed up for what he thought was going to be fun, but again, reminder that fantasy and reality can be two very different things. And so he obviously was begging for her to stop, but again, in the context of this being a BDSM type of encounter, it's possible that she thought that that was sort of part of the game versus he seriously and truly wanted to opt out, which again, not that I'm an expert in this arena and I'm not going to kink shame anybody, but the reality is normally that's why you have a safe word in that type of situation so that there's a distinction between, okay, this is a game and wait, no, it's time to stop. I'm being hurt in a way that is not consistent with what I signed up for.
And in terms of the law and the eyes of the law, how important is intent here? Because it seemed like from the defense's perspective, there was no intent to harm this man, the victim that he ended up being. But in terms of just intent versus what had actually ended up happening, how important is it in the eyes of the law where the jury may see, okay, well, maybe she didn't intend to do this, but then as a result, her client, alleged client, ended up dead?
So there's a couple things to unpack here. So first degree murder, which is usually the premeditation aspect, that's not on the table because it's not like she planned to harm him. Now, second degree murder, definitely on the table because of the fact that she engaged in something that would be deemed as wanton and reckless disregard for human life, that you're doing something that's so out of pocket, so out of the norm, and so likely to cause harm, and yet proceeded to do so anyway. Now again, the nuance, because of this fact that this is a BDSM type situation, yes, most things in that arena are going to be disregard for human life, right? Because we're looking at asphyxiation and all that type of stuff that's done consensually. So what I think truly applies here is manslaughter, because again,
Facts. Facts. It's, it's definitely, it wouldn't be involuntary. It definitely would be manslaughter.
they engaged in something that was, there was consent involved, and they agreed to go to a certain point. She just went a bit too far. So I think manslaughter is probably the most appropriate charge here, if any, if any.
And are you surprised, given that this had happened about 2 years ago, it happened in 2023, that she was only charged now in 2025? Why do you think that there was such a discrepancy in the amount of time that's passed? But also, why did the charges come about now as opposed to when the incident first occurred?
My only guess would be that it was as part of the investigation. So law enforcement was going through phone records, talking to witnesses, talking to her boyfriend, who apparently uh, got some footage of what was happening in real
Her
time.
husband, yeah.
So, excuse me, her husband, yes, who had gotten footage in real time and actually responded to it. So there were a number of people that they needed to speak to figure out whether or not this was truly a consensual sexual encounter that went wrong, or if there was something more nefarious at play here.
Yeah, because just hearing about all these text messages and even the video evidence that prosecutors have, it seemed like, especially with the victim making this very specific request for Michaela to kind of allegedly glue him with Gorilla Glue into his boots, even put it into his eyes, so that way she would be the last person he saw, and even the whole saran wrap aspect to it. I feel like there's just so many different layers to this case. But even with all these different layers, are you surprised that the judge said no bond for this defendant, given that, it's still kind of up in the air in terms of which murder count it'll be, whether it'll be manslaughter or first degree or second degree murder? But are you surprised she's being held without bond, especially because even though she is a spicy content creator, she is still a mom of three, she still has a husband at home? But are you surprised the judge said no for bond?
I am surprised because judges usually have to consider whether or not someone is a flight risk, whether or not they're a danger to the community, and whether or not they're going to reoffend during the time that they're out on bond pending trial. And I don't see any of those indicators there. She does not have a prior criminal history to the best of our knowledge. She is settled in terms of she has a husband and a family. So, she's pretty stable in terms of where she is. She's pretty easy to find because she's on social. So it's not like she can disappear somewhere and no one's going to know where she is or be able to find her. And she seemed to have roots in the community. So to me, that's a little surprising. And again, looking at the facts, it's not that she planned it. It's not that, she did something horrible and violent from the standpoint of this was not consensual. She just went up to this guy and decided to put gorilla glue in his eyes or something along those lines, right? So, not saying that this isn't terrible. Let's be very clear about that. But in terms of the consent aspect, that changes the dynamics of what we're dealing with. So, that's why I'm a bit surprised that the judge is holding her no bond. I would have thought that they would have set a bond. Maybe it would have been a bit high, but I still thought that a bond would have been appropriate, again, because I don't think she's a flight risk. And she cooperated with law enforcement right out the gate. She remained available to them to answer questions. And so, she wasn't giving the hallmarks of somebody who would flee, like AKA the Adelsons.
The shameless plug right there, all that. I love it. And I was going to ask you, Melba, in terms of.
So, mm, mm, mm. When we go back, let's go back. When he was talking about her husband. There you go. Right here, right here. He's talking about that's not the dude. Okay, all right. That's a husband. So she got a thing for white men.
His face and head for at least 8 minutes. Even at one point, McKay.
She got a thing for white men. That's her husband right there. So they probably be doing this. And this is not uncommon. But we pull up. In fact, we're gonna pull up Munchie B's thing. Right at this part, we'll come back to this. We're gonna pull up Munchie B and the dude that's talking about this BDSM, and he was explaining what a cuck is and what a voyeur is and all that stuff. And mind you, when she was doing this, she was sending pictures back to her husband, and he was approving of the pictures. Like he was getting excited. That's one of the things that the dude was talking about in Munchie B's interview is that these guys will let their woman do stuff like this and go out there and sleep with other men, even coach the dudes on how their wife likes to have it done and all that stuff, bro. This BDSM stuff is wild work, bro. As I said, bro, this demon time. If you want to be on demon time, you gotta do stuff like this. If you ain't doing stuff like this, you ain't on demon time. You just on ignorant time. You ain't on demon time. Cause this is straight demon activity right here.
Michael was laying on the ground with saran wrap covering his face and head for at least 8 minutes. Even at one point,
All right. Let's pull up Munchie B. Let's pull up this Munchie B joint. And we gonna go to like 40 something minutes. Cause he gonna start explaining. He gonna start explaining what that stuff is. And this dude that we're bringing up, his name is T Mac.
I been shot more than 50, you gon' ride with me. I got a play in the bay, you gon' slide with me. I know you loyal as they come, you gon' slide with me. I'm out the gutter, stick bombing, you gon' shine with me. 211s and 459, throwing bricks at the pen, I'ma take my time.
Hold on, I gotta stop that because I don't want Munchie B's joint and me flagging my live. Saying I was listening to his music without permission. Alright.
Allowing to be with her, he's doing all the shit that he not doing. So at some point, she gonna start to like that shit. She gonna start to want it. She gonna start to crave it. She gonna start to need it. Because when she's not with that escort or whoever is breaking her off, she can't get it from Diddy. Cause he gonna tell her, call the what freezer meat dude.
Well, freezer
You know
meat
what I'm saying?
crazy.
She
That's
gonna
the
call
name
the
of
freezer
book.
meat
I
dude.
forget his
Yeah.
name, the first one.
Yeah.
But not Rico, but the first one. But okay, no homo, but you know, they say I guess Puffy has some shortcomings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she said that. I mean, according to
The first sex worker, and then
they say my man looked like a little tootsie roll or something like that.
all right, yeah.
Shit like that. So you know,
Your word on the sheets, not the streets, but the sheets.
So like I said, that the shit that she could have been against at first, she has started to grow to love. Because no matter, even though Diddy's saying, okay, this is what I want to see, this is what I want you to do, she's still the one getting that pleasure. She the one still getting her brains fucked out of. She's still the one getting her mind blown. So when that dude leave and she's stuck in that room with Diddy, guess who she thinking about? That nigga, that freezer meat nigga. Yeah. So if she ever have to have sex with Diddy, that's who she's thinking about. Because Diddy ain't doing none of the shit that this nigga was doing to her.
Man, they flying this fool from California to New York, wee
All
hours.
over. My nigga taking this nigga across the country.
Right.
And that's real shit because when I used to get contacted by husbands, women and their husbands,
right,
they have a lifestyle that they call a cuckold. A cuckold lifestyle is basically a husband that likes to be dominated by his wife or by the man that's fucking his wife or by both of them.
Okay, all right, before you go into that, I heard of that term first when Cameron was interviewing the first sex worker, I believe, but the sex worker said that she introduced the situation. She said, "Me and my husband is into this, and is what is it called? A
voyeurism.
She like it's a voyeurism." And then Cameron corrected him like, "No, he's really a how you say it?
A cuck,
a
cuckold,
cuckold."
yeah.
I'm like, I wasn't familiar with neither one of the terms. So tell us the difference between that first cuck thing and the voyeurism.
All right, voyeurism usually are just people that get turned on. Let's say you go to a swinger party.
Mm-hmm.
You go in the swinger party and you got all these people fucking. Everybody's just fucking. They're like an orgy or whatever. And you and your girl, y'all like y'all get turned on by watching this shit. Y'all watching other people just like sitting at home watching porn.
Okay.
But y'all watching this shit live in person. So while y'all watching this shit live in person, a lot of people use that and they'll get down. That'll make them want to fuck right there. Or sometimes they'll just watch and they'll use that image and that vision and those sounds that they heard and they'll go to their room and they use that to get them going. A lot of times voyeurism is like it's like a tutor, like a push for couples or people that are sexually active to get turned on by watching other people. Now, a cuckold situation, that's because the husband he wants to give up control. He doesn't want to have no control over his wife. He don't want to have no control over himself. So therefore, he'll if he can find a man, most men that like to dominate men in a cuck relationship, the guy that she seeks out, whether it's a black man or a white man, they call that man the bull. So if a girl come to you, get at you, Munchie, and say, hey, you know, my husband not fucking me right, but he told me I can reach out to you. You know, can you come handle this business? You become her bull now. And so he's the cuckold. So he might sit down and talk to you and say, hey, look, Munchie, look, this is my wife. I love my wife. I don't want to lose my wife. I don't want to mess up our marriage. But these are the things that she needs to make herself happy sexually. I'm not into this shit. I don't want to choke her. I don't want to whoop her with no paddle. I don't want to make her crawl on the floor on her knees. This is not some shit that I'm into. But I want her to be happy. So I'm looking for somebody that I can trust. That if I allow you the chance to be her bull or to be her dominant, I need to know that she's going to be safe with you. I need to know that you're not going to destroy my marriage, that you're not going to try to steal my wife from me, because we still love each other. It's still a loving marriage. Right. I just want her to be happy. And so he'll give you that permission to take control of his wife. But his role in the part may be some shit like, well, I just want to be able to watch when y'all doing it. And you say, okay, what you mean by watch? He said, well, maybe I'll bring you some water, bring a towel while you fucking her to wipe her face.
So kind of like Ari Puffy was like instructing during the thing.
Yeah, that's
he'd be like, Ari, do this position. Or that. He was like kind of trying to be like a producer, kind of sort of.
He was trying to be a producer, but at the same time, he was being in a cuck role. Okay. Because listen to what she said, the shit that turns him on. It turned him on to watch her get fucked by another man. But while he watching her get fucked, he's over in the corner jacking off. So those are cuck activities. Those are cuck situations that you don't want to join him fucking your wife, or you don't want to be in a threesome with him, but you just want to sit in a corner and get off, jack yourself off.
So that's cuck activity.
That's cuck activity.
So what are now that he got involved and the dude is ejaculating on his nipples, what is he? That's not voyeur. That's not cuck. What is that now?
That is cuck. That's still cuck.
Extreme cuck.
Here's the deal. You got straight cuck relationships. You got bisexual cuck relationships. A bisexual cuck relationship would mean the dominant guy that's fucking his wife, he might let Puffy suck his dick or something. You know what I'm saying? Or he might let Puffy eat his wife out before he fuck her. Mm-hmm. A cuck is usually the guy that preps his wife. If he know you coming over to fuck his wife, he might say, come on, baby, let me eat you out. Let me eat you out, get you ready for Munchie when he get here. Mm-hmm. Let me get you ready, wash you up. Let me get this water set up. Let me get these towels set up. And in the middle of you fucking her, he might ask you to pull out. And he might want to do some shit like eat her pussy or something. Or if you come on her, or if you bust on her or bust in her, he might want to lick it up or eat it out of her. If you bust inside of her, he might. This is the type of shit that go on. He might want to eat whatever you put inside of her. He might want to eat that shit out. So that's why when she said, well, he wanted the guy to jack off on me and then wanted me to come rub it on his nipples. He wanted another dude's cum on his nipples. That's cucking. That's what you call cucking. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't use that term, but that's really what he was. That's what he was doing. He was a rich ass cuck. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't. Then you got what they call a stag and a vixen. A stag and a vixen might be a husband that allows his wife to fuck another man.
A stag?
Yeah, a stag. The husband is a stag. The wife is the vixen.
Okay.
So the stag, he might allow his wife to fuck another man, but he don't want no homosexual activities.
Okay.
He don't want to go jack this nigga off or lick off his cum or none of that type of stuff. He just enjoys watching his wife have sex with other men. He don't want to sit in the corner and jack off. He don't want to do none of that shit. He just gets off knowing that his wife is having sex with another man. That can please her better than him.
And the vixen is
the woman. She's getting all the
so everybody call Adam 22 a cuck. Adam 22 is not a cuck then. He's a stag and his wife is a vixen. So if y'all familiar with Adam 22 wife is a I don't want to say the actual term. She's a flick star. She makes flicks. And if anybody from Baltimore, they understand what I'm saying. They know what that word flick mean. Um If you read between the line, you understand what I'm saying. She's a flick star, and Adam lets her go out create these flicks with these different dudes and stuff like that, and then she comes home to him. So technically, Adam 22 is not a cup because he's not there when she's creating these flicks. He don't sit there and watch her in the act, and he pleases his self. So we've been calling him the wrong thing. So see this when I in BDSM means bondage, discipline, sadism, and man, masochism, masochism, something like that. I don't I don't know. I'm not familiar with this stuff, but they will fall under that BDSM thing, and Adam 22's wife would be deemed a vixen, and he would be deemed a stag. That's crazy.
The pleasure. She's getting all the pleasure. She's laying up. She's chilling. She's getting her wishes fulfilled, and with the blessings of her husband.
Hmm.
And she knows that she ain't got to go home and listen to him say like, "Well, damn, it hurt me to see you with that guy. I thought I can handle it." She ain't got to worry about that because he had already mentally prepared himself to accept the fact that this man is fucking my wife. He fucking the shit out of her, and I accept it.
So you got a vixen, you got a stag, you got a bull.
Mm-hmm. The bull is you, the person that's fucking his wife.
Stag, okay, all right.
And what they call
In some cases you got to cut.
you got to cut. And now they also in a cuckold relationship, the woman has a title too. Her title is QOS, which stands for Queen of Spades. So, just like the spade symbol when you're playing spades on the card, you might see a woman with a spades tattoo on her back, on her tramp stamp on her back, a spades tattoo. She might have a T-shirt and it'll just be a picture of a black spades. A lot of people don't know that's what she's letting you know. If you're in that lifestyle and you see her with that shirt, you know what she's telling you. All I like is black dick. So if you see a woman walking around with a T-shirt and it has a spade symbol on it, she's letting you know nothing but black dick. If she got a tattoo with a spades on her leg, nothing but black dick. If she got something, the letters QOS stands for Queen of Spades. If she got QOS somewhere on her shirt or on her body, for the people that's in that lifestyle, they know what that means, that all she fuck with is black men. But she can be married to a white husband. You understand what I'm saying? Married to a white husband, got kids, been married 20 years. But she's a QOS.
Okay, so all right, the first time you a woman contacted you and you either put a bitch in a cage or on a leash, did it feel awkward?
Oh man, yeah, this demon time right here, bro. You see what I'm saying, man? Man, bro. Who would who you think who you I can't even get it out, bro. Who would imagine that doing this would lead to somebody catching a body, bro? Y'all just stay y'all stay with the normal stuff, man. Y'all stay with the normal stuff, man. Like all that extra stuff, bro. I mean, don't get it wrong, bro. I get sometimes it might get dry, and you don't want to spice things up and do something different. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. Spice up your relationship. You know, like have a good time, enjoy each other. But when you start going to this stuff right here and all these different titles, and you start going to all these different special curricular activities, bruh, it's like Nah, bruh, you don't need to go to that extreme, bruh. You don't need to go to that extreme, bruh. That's 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 a whole nother level demonism or demon time you don't wanna be a part of, bruh. This is low key sick. This low key sick individuals, bruh, for real. You sharing your wife with somebody else, bruh. All this stuff that is referred to is what the Bible uh goes against. You know what I'm saying? Like, just enjoy each other's company, bruh. Just enjoy each other's company, bruh. Start learning to spice things up. You know what I mean? Without having to go to the extreme, bruh. This is sick. This is sick. Let's listen to those terms again. Because we ready to be getting out of here real quick. Shouts out to Munchie B. I'm glad he did this interview. Because this interview shined the light on a lot of stuff that goes on out here in the real world. And this dude, if y'all don't, it's at the top. It's at the top of the screen, so y'all can see what it is. Go watch this full interview. When I'm done this, I'll link this. I'll link this video in the description box for y'all, so y'all can watch the whole video. Cause he came out with a book and all that stuff. You know, go watch that whole video. You know, don't practice this stuff though. Don't practice. It ain't what the Lord wants. But you can go watch the video, be entertained. Cause it was very entertaining.
She gonna start to want it. She gonna start to crave it. She gonna start to need it because when she's not with that escort or whoever is breaking her off, she can't get it from Diddy because he gonna tell her call the what freezer meat dudes.
Well, freezer
You know what
meat
I'm saying?
crazy.
She
That's
gonna
the
call
name
the
of his
freezer
book.
meat
I forget
dude.
his
Yeah.
name, the first one.
Yeah.
But not Rico, but the first one. But okay. No homo, but they say I guess Puffy has some shortcomings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she said that. I mean, according to
The first sex worker, and then
they say my man looked like a little tootsie roll or something like that.
all right,
Shit like that. So
your word on the sheets, not the streets, but the sheets.
So like I said, that the shit that she could have been against at first, she has started to grow to love. Because no matter, even though Diddy's saying, okay, this is what I want to see, this is what I want you to do, she's still the one getting that pleasure. She the one still getting her brains fucked out of. She's still the one getting her mind blown. So when that dude leave and she's stuck in that room with Diddy, guess who she thinking about? That nigga, that freezer meat nigga. Yeah. So if she ever have to have sex with Diddy, that's who she's thinking about. Because Diddy ain't doing none of the shit that this nigga was doing to her.
Man, they flying this fool from California to New York, wee
All
hours.
over. My nigga taking this nigga across the country.
Right.
And that's real shit because when I used to get contacted by husbands, women and their husbands,
right,
they have a lifestyle that they call a cuckold. A cuckold lifestyle is basically a husband that likes to be dominated by his wife or by the man that's fucking his wife or by both of them.
Okay, all right, before you go into that, I heard of that term first when Cameron was interviewing the first sex worker, I believe, but the sex worker said that she introduced the situation. She said, "Me and my husband is into this, and is what is it called? A
voyeurism.
She like to voyeurism." And then Cameron corrected him like, "No, he's really how you say it?
A
cuckold.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wasn't familiar with neither one of the terms. So tell us the difference between that first cuck thing and the voyeurism.
All right, voyeurism usually are just people that get turned on. Let's say you go to a swinger party.
Mm-hmm.
You go in the swinger party and you got all these people fucking. Everybody's just fucking. They're like an orgy or whatever. And you and your girl, y'all like stand, y'all get turned on by watching this shit. Y'all watching other people, just like sitting at home watching porn.
Okay.
But y'all watching this shit live in person. So while y'all watching this shit live in person, a lot of people use that and they'll get down. That'll make them want to fuck right there. Or sometimes they'll just watch and they'll use that image and that vision and those sounds that they heard and they'll go to their room and they use that to get them going. A lot of times voyeurism is like it's like a tutor, like a push for couples or people that are sexually active to get turned on by watching other people. Now, a cuckold situation, that's because the husband he wants to give up control. He doesn't want to have no control over his wife. He don't want to have no control over himself. So therefore, he'll either, if he can find a man, most men that like to dominate men in a cuck relationship, the guy that she seeks out, whether it's a black man or a white man, they call that man the bull. So if a girl come to you, get at you, Munchie, and say, hey, you know, my husband not fucking me right, but he told me I can reach out to you. You know, can you come handle this business? You become her bull now. And so he's the cuckold, so he might sit down and talk to you and say, hey, look, Munchie, look, this is my wife. I love my wife. I don't want to lose my wife. I don't want to mess up our marriage. But these are the things that she needs to make herself happy sexually. I'm not into this shit. I don't want to choke her. I don't want to whoop her with no paddle. I don't want to make her crawl on the floor on her knees. This is not some shit that I'm into. But I want her to be happy. So I'm looking for somebody that I can trust, that if I allow you the chance to be her bull or to be her dominant, I need to know that she's going to be safe with you. I need to know that you're not going to destroy my marriage, that you're not going to try to steal my wife from me, because we still love each other. It's still a loving marriage. Right. I just want her to be happy. And so he'll give you that permission to take control of his wife. But his role in the part may be some shit like, well, I just want to be able to watch when y'all doing it. And you say, okay, what you mean by watch? He said, well, you know, maybe I'll bring you some water, bring a towel while you fucking her to wipe her face.
So kind of like Ari Puffy was like instructing during the thing.
Yeah, that's
he be like, Ari, do this position. Or that. He was like kind of trying to be like a producer kind of sort of.
He was trying to be a producer, but at the same time, he was being in a cuck role. Okay. Because listen to what she said, the shit that turns him on. It turned him on to watch her get fucked by another man. But while he watching her get fucked, he's over in the corner jacking off. So those are cuck activities. Those are cuck situations that you don't want to join him fucking your wife, or you don't want to be in a threesome with him, but you just want to sit in a corner and get off, jack yourself off.
So that's cuck activity.
That's cuck activity.
So what are now that he got involved in the dude is ejaculating on his nipples, what is he? That's not voyeur. That's not cuck. What is that now?
That is cuck. That's still cuck.
Extreme cuck.
Here's the deal. You got straight cuck relationships. You got bisexual cuck relationships. A bisexual cuck relationship would mean the dominant guy that's fucking his wife, he might let Puffy suck his dick or something. You know what I'm saying? Or he might let Puffy eat his wife out before he fuck her. Mm-hmm. A cuck is usually the guy that preps his wife. If he know you coming over to fuck his wife, he might say, come on, baby, let me eat you out. Let me get you ready for Munchie when he get here. Mm-hmm. Let me get you ready, wash you up. Let me get this water set up. Let me get these towels set up. And in the middle of you fucking her, he might ask you to pull out. And he might want to do some shit like eat her pussy or something. Or if you come on her, or if you bust on her or bust in her, he might want to lick it up or eat it out of her. If you bust inside of her, this is the type of shit that go on. He might want to eat whatever you put inside of her. He might want to eat that shit out. So that's why when she said, well, he wanted the guy to jack off on me and then wanted me to come rub it on his nipples. He wanted another dude's cum on his nipples. That's cucking. That's what you call cucking. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't use that term, but that's really what he was. That's what he was doing. He was a rich ass cuck. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't. Then you got what they call a stag and a vixen. A stag and a vixen might be a husband that allows his wife to fuck another man.
A stag?
Yeah, a stag. The husband is a stag. The wife is the vixen.
Okay.
So the stag, he might allow his wife to fuck another man, but he don't want no homosexual activities.
Okay.
He don't want to go jack this
That's what we. That's what we were saying with. That's what we were saying with this. With this one. With this. With this
A man
girl.
had a very specific request for an OnlyFans model.
Asking her to buy boots and glue them on his feet
With this girl right
with
here.
Gorilla Glue.
So she was a vixen. She was a vixen. Her husband was a stag. Cause when she took the picture, she sent it back to her husband. Old boy right here. She sent it back to old boy right here, and he approved of it. This her husband. I thought that was the dude that she was with, but no, that's her husband right there. So, like you said, the stag can have a whole husband with kids, be married for 20 years, but he let her go out there and do what she do, and he just happy that his wife is being fulfilled in that kind of way. So this was his role. He was a stag, and she was the vixen, and she would do BDSM with her clients or whoever she. Oh Jesus, this is too much. Jesus. All right, that's the end of this one. I can't go. I can't go no more. I can't go on no more. That's the end of this one. But like this lady said, if anything, she should get manslaughter because this was the guy wanted this to happen to him. He signed this what he signed up for. This what he signed up for. He signed up for this to happen to him. So is she necessarily the one to blame? I don't know. Did they have a safe word? I don't know. They probably ain't have no safe word or whatever. But jeez, just y'all find better ways to please each other, bro. This is sick. We gonna run this. We gonna run this little bit out, and then we gonna get up out of here.
Yeah. So, Elizabeth, always great to be on with you. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because, again, the victim signed up for what he thought was going to be fun. But again, reminder that fantasy and reality can be two very different things. And so he obviously was begging for her to stop. But again, in the context of this being a BDSM type of encounter, it's possible that she thought that that was sort of part of the game versus he seriously and truly wanted to opt out, which again, not that I'm an expert in this arena and I'm not going to kink shame anybody, but the reality is normally that's why you have a safe word in that type of situation so that there's a distinction between okay, this is a game and wait, no, it's time to stop. I'm being hurt in a way that is not consistent with what I signed up for.
And in terms of the law and the eyes of the law, how important is intent here? Because it seemed like from the defense's perspective, there was no intent to harm this man, the victim that he ended up being. But in terms of just intent versus what had actually ended up happening, how important is it in the eyes of the law where the jury may see, okay, well, maybe she didn't intend to do this, but then as a result, her alleged client, ended up dead?
So there's a couple things to unpack here. So first degree murder, which is usually the premeditation aspect, that's not on the table because it's not like she planned to harm him. Now, second degree murder, definitely on the table because of the fact that she engaged in something that would be deemed as wanton and reckless disregard for human life, that you're doing something that's so out of pocket, so out of the norm, and so likely to cause harm, and yet proceeded to do so anyway. Now again, the nuance because of this fact that this is a BDSM type situation, yes, most things in that arena are going to be disregard for human life, right? Because, we're looking at asphyxiation and all that type of stuff that's done consensually. So what I think truly applies here is manslaughter, because again, they engaged in something that was, there was consent involved, and they agreed to go to a certain point. She just went